I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? Guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can. Thanks for the confirmation. So, myself, Sai, I'm the AWS and the DevOps trainer from last uh, couple of years. And also currently I'm working for the union government projects under Skill India program for the CAD by 2.0 as a regular trainer, full-time trainer. And I'm passionate about to teaching and to upskill the students and the learners. Okay. So this is my background, and welcome to all to the board, and thanks to you guys because you are so punctual, who had joined on time. Once I am thanking you personally. So I think you know. So this is a platform now we have connected through the Logic Labs technologies, right? For the AWS and the DevOps, which is weekend batches. It means like only Saturday and Sunday you're going to have the classes, Saturday 2 hours and the Sunday 2 hours for the next 8 weeks. It means almost together like 32 to 35 hours, right? If you need a more details about the batch regarding the batch content and the registration process, please the screen showing for you. The screen is visible to you, right? So please scan the details. Please scan the QR code for the course content. And if you want to register in our classes, in our regular classes, please kindly register the QR code for the registration process. All right. It is just 7,999 price. Why? Because as you know, if you want to learn, because I am very much experienced in the teaching and all, I've seen many commercial platforms, right? For the AWS market, the market price is almost like 10 to 15,000 only for the AWS with the certification. The two is the third party certification, right? And for the DevOps, they're charging around 15, average 15,000. Altogether, they're taking 30,000. If you see any other institutes and all commercial institutes, but where we are here from the Logic Labs technologies, we are like a students learner based. Okay, we will always encourage the learners to upskill themselves in the very low cost, that too from the expert trainers, right? So this is the best opportunity to you guys. Okay, the 7,999 price which we are showing you, it is like really it's like a best opportunity to grab. So don't miss this opportunity, right? Once you get a good content from us, for sure we are assuring you you're going to upskill in a best way from the scratch, irrespective of your background, might you are from non-IT or from IT or you are an experienced person, irrespective of your background, educational background, we're going to teach you from the basics, from the very scratch, from what is the cloud computing and the AWS and the DevOps, like everything we are integrating, interrelating. Okay, we are learning to the issue and the solution way. So in a proper manner, we're going to see the things. So this is the best opportunity to you guys. We are keeping in front of you. So please kindly grab this opportunity, right? So, and welcome to the demo sessions for the next 2 days, like today's and tomorrow's. Please be stay tuned. Okay, don't skip the class in between, right? In between, definitely I'll give the break, short break for the next 2 hours. So please kindly keep your mobiles in the silence mode. Please be focused because once you enter into the class, actual class, it will be like a swimming. Okay, you can't stop in. We can't stop in between. Like it's so good to us, right? So please kindly don't disturb yourself with the mobile phones and calls and all. Okay, it's my sincere request. Don't divert yourself, right? And if you have any other queries regarding the general informations and how to get into the team and how to get into the class and all. So here in the display, we are giving the certain numbers, right? For the Indian numbers, for the other US based numbers as well. So for any query, you can mail to the supporting team, where the support at the rate logiclabstech.com, or you can call us on the particular numbers, right? So, and once again, I'm telling you, today and tomorrow, it's a kind of demo session. So it's completely free of cost. So please be participant and also share to your friends who are not aware of this program and tell them to grab this opportunity, right? And unnecessarily don't waste your big amount. Okay, with a small amount, try to get maximum amount of information from the Logic Labs, right? So before going to the actual session, let me have some kind of introduction about like who. Let me know the participants who are from IT background. Can you raise your hands, like who are from IT background or who are from non-IT? Anyone? Yeah. Hi, Ashish.
Hi, sorry, this is Ashish. I'm from Pune actually, and working for an US-based company. That was one of my clients in ConnectWise when I was working with ConnectWise as a partner program. And I have no knowledge about DevOps or Azure, but I mostly work on Microsoft servers and desktops. So I was just curious about understanding how exactly it works, or if it is difficult to learn DevOps.
No, it's great. Great to have you, Ashish. Thank you. Thank you for choosing this Logic Labs platform. See, so even when I started my career, like in the cloud computing projects and all, even when I'm at your place, even I thought that might it is a rocket science, right? Might it is a
Mhm.
rocket science and it's very tough. What it is, even can I able to learn it or not? Can I able to grab
Right.
the things in a proper way or not? Even I have such kind of confusion in me. But when I
Mhm.
started learning, doing hands-on experience from my trainer at those times, like almost very long back, so it's like so easy. Believe me, it's so easy to learn, so fun to learn as well, and it's also very
Okay.
interesting. It's very easy. You can learn from me. Okay, I'm assuring you,
Okay.
with very easy. Okay, without any difficulty, you can learn from me. That's my guarantee.
Okay.
With simple,
Great.
basic examples, layman examples, you can learn. It's not your rocket science, right?
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Let's try it then.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, hi Prem Kumar.
Yeah, hello, hi. I'm an 8 years experienced person in IT profession actually. So
Yeah,
currently I'm working as a system engineer in CBTS Technology Solutions, Chennai. So I'm an AWS Solution Architect certified person. So just want to know about the DevOps. So just trying to build my career in DevOps and AWS DevOps. So that's why I joined this class, demo class.
great, Prem. Okay, great. Definitely, you're going to do the things well for
Yeah,
your upcoming projects. All the best to you.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mohammed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
hi
hear
there.
you,
This,
Mohammed.
this is Mama from UK. Basically, I work for BBC as a broadcast engineer.
Great.
So I do have a
Yes.
basic knowledge of like how the IT works. I've got like basically like almost like 5 to 6 years experience in external support.
Yeah.
So just wanted to move up in the career by learning DevOps and sort of stuff. So one was like project experience will you guys will be providing us in the future.
Great. Good to hear. Yes. Thank you.
No.
So, anyone want to share your experience that anyone is there like freshers background, like who graduated recently, right? Okay, great. So, I think it's time to move into the session, right? Without delaying the time. Thank you. Yes. I hope you can see my screen. The first screen is saying about the SDLC, software development lifecycle,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So before going into the picture, before going to the actual picture and the actual content, because irrespective of, I'm telling you, irrespective of your background and your working experience, we'll start from the base, from the very scratch to the advanced level, right? Because it's as a team, we have to swim and sink together, right? So we have to swim and sink together. So that is our motto. So I think you can see my whiteboard. Yeah. So here, as you know, the technology is helping us, right? The technology we should thankful to the technology that we have in the current generation, right? See, let me have one example, simple example to understand what is SDLC in a proper way, right? I think most of you know, but still, right? Let's say this is me. So it's a bank, ABC, right? So if you see the traditional way, if you see the earlier way at our 1960s or 1970s or 1980s, even though if you want to have the transactions, if you want to have the services from the bank, definitely we should go to the bank through physically. we have to approach the bank, right? So we are requesting the services from the bank, right? What are the requests we do generally for the deposit, for the withdraw, cash withdraw, and all. And they are also, in turn, they are providing the services to us. Okay, they are responding their services to us. Okay, this is an old back situation. It's a long back situation. Okay, if you need any services from the bank, definitely we should go. Even if you want to withdraw 1,000 rupees, definitely we have to approach the bank. Okay, and we have to wait and we have to raise our request. Then they will respond as per the request, right? But what happened after the technology emerged? So now this bank, ABC Bank, it has to satisfy. It decided to satisfy its customers. Through how? Through use the technology. By using the technology, this bank ABC decided to satisfy its customers by using the technology. So how it going to satisfy its customers by using the technology? By with the help of the application, software application, right? Nowadays all people we are experiencing, right? We are not even going to bank even once a year, right? Well, it's very rarely we are approaching the banks, right? Because of the technology, emerging of technology, we are just using the applications for everything, right? For bank transactions, for the deposits, for the withdraw, for most of the things we are using the application only, even for the shopping purpose, right? Day-to-day life, we are using a lot of software applications. Not only respect to the bank, we are using a lot of software applications for everything. So how this emerged? We are only the other side of the coin, right? We are only other side of the coin. What we are doing, we are just installing the application. We are just installing the application in our mobile, or else we are just browsing that application in the web browsers, right? But what is happening on the other side? So this bank ABC, now this bank ABC, what they have done, they just approach the any IT company, let's say, because they need the application, because the bank don't know how to develop the application, right? Now they reach one software application, right? So let's say this is a bank ABC, right? And let's say this is a company, software company. Okay, let's say XYZ, right? So now this bank ABC had approached to the XYZ company to develop the application. Why? Because in the interest of its customers, to enlarge its business and to satisfy more customers and to make the ease of doing business, so that the bank ABC reached the XYZ software company, let's say. Okay, now this XYZ, definitely this company as well, this XYZ company, what they need the projects from the client, right? Now he become the client. Now this bank ABC become the client. Okay, right. Now the bank ABC become the client of the XYZ company. Now, so in order to develop the project, in order to develop the application, software application, so what is the first thing required by the XYZ company? First, what he will do, he will take the requirements, right? He will take the requirements from the XYZ company. So, are you getting my point? So, in order to develop the project, first, what the company will do, he will take the requirements. Okay, he will take the requirements from the bank. So, what are the requirements that the bank will give? See, so let's say XYZ company, see, I need the project, I need the software application. So, you have to develop the software application. So, in order to satisfy my customers, so I need the so and so templates, I need the so and so, my company logo should be in front page, I need so and so things, the transactions and all. So, these are the requirements. Okay, first he'll give the requirements to the XYZ company. So, now this XYZ company, in order to develop the project, what they'll do, they'll plan, okay, as per the requirements given by the client. Who is the client? Bank ABC. So as per the requirements given by the client, so what the company will do, they will plan, right? They'll do the background work. Definitely, obviously, if you want to construct any house, yes, we know if you want to construct any house, before directly going and constructing the house, what we'll do, definitely we'll approach any engineer or any architect for the ground planning, paperwork. We call it the background work. So any company, in order to start any project from the client, first they will do the plan. Okay, they need a proper planning, like background work, right? So that planning, they will take the approval from the client. They will discuss with the client. So this is our plan of action. So this is the way we going to develop the project, right? So if the bank satisfied, then what they will do, the company, they will start implementing the plan of action, right? Next step is the implementation process comes into the picture. Okay, right? Right. So now just listen carefully. So we know the plan of action. So what is the plan and background work? And after getting the approval from the client, then we'll start implementing. This is our next step. So in the implementing, who will implement? So the company, XYZ company, what they will do, they will recruit the required resources persons, right? First, what they will do? First, they will look into the infrastructure. Okay, they will look into the hardware. Right? To implement the project, they need a hardware infrastructure, right? And apart from the hardware infrastructure, and also they need the required resources persons who know coding, right? Who know the coding. First thing, they look for the hardware infrastructure, and second thing, they will onboard the required resources persons who know the well coding to implement this project, right? So now, so this hardware infrastructure, okay, hardware infrastructure. What comes into the hardware infrastructure? What are the things that comes into the hardware infrastructure to implement the project? Right? We need the machines. Okay, we need the machines. Like computers, and upon the computers, along with that, we need the CPU, and we need the RAM for the processing, for the temporary storage, and we need the hard disk as well. And also, we have to take the license from the OS, the image operating system, to build the project. Right? So we are creating the platform. Okay, we are creating the platform to implement the project. So now, what are the required resources persons we will take? Here, the required resources persons, let's say, they are the software engineers, right? Generally, we call them as the software engineers who know the coding well, right? So now what they'll do, what the software engineers will do, they will start coding. Okay, they will start coding. Okay. So now, once the company is set up, once the company is set up in the infrastructure, okay, the entire game, the AWS, the cloud computing, the AWS, and the DevOps, entire game is how to save these resources. Okay, how to save these resources, how to use these resources more efficiently. So that is the entire game. Okay, it is very important. It is a crux of this entire course. Okay, so you should know this. You just keep in mind the entire game of the AWS or the cloud computing players. It might be Azure, GCP, AWS, IBM, Oracle, etc. Or even the DevOps. Why we are doing that? To use the resources in a proper way, efficiently way, and to finish the project in the easy way, in the fast manner, and to finish the project in the fast manner. So now, what the company has to do, they has to invest the amount, correct? They has to invest. The company has to invest the amount for what? For the hardware infrastructure, right? So what are the hardware infrastructure the company has to invest in? They have to take the computers. In the computers also, they have to see the configurations, right? These are all the configuration details. So what is the CPU capacity? What is the RAM capacity? What is the hard disk capacity? Right? Which OS we should select, like Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat. Okay, which operating system we have to select. So all depend on the planning. Okay, according to the plan, the company has to invest. They have to set up the hardware infrastructure. And now the software engineers comes into the picture. What they will do, they will start writing the code. Okay, they will start writing the code. Whatever the code they written in the high level language, right? Generally, they will write the code in the high level language. We call it as high level language. Let's say Python, Java, okay, C#, etc. So what are the code they written? We call it as high level language, right? So this high level language, generally, do you think this high level language going to be understood by the computer? Guys, we call it as source code, okay? We call it as source code, okay? What are the code written by these developers? We call them as software engineers or the developers. We call them as developers, software developers, okay? And what is the platform? What is the environment we are creating for the developers? Okay, this is the environment we call it as dev environment, okay? This is the dev environment. So in this dev environment, we are setting the platform, okay? We are setting the infrastructure and the software, software developer will start writing the code, right? So now, whatever the code the developers have written, we call it as source code, right? We call it as source code, which is in a high level language. Let's say it may be Python or Oracle based on the plan what we are giving, okay? So based on the language, high level language, the developers start writing the code. We call it source code. We know this, right? But do you think this source code going to be understood by the computer, guys? Whether the computer going to understand this language, this high level language? No, right?
No.
So what is the next step the developer will do? The developer, after writing the source code, what he will do? He will do compile. Okay. The next picture. See, this today class I decided to teach the basic terminologies and the basic overview of the picture of the AWS and the DevOps. Okay, please focus on the terminologies, right? So what he will do in order to understand to the computer, so that to process, you know, the hardware configuration, what the CPU will do, okay, and what the RAM will do, what the hard disk will do, what is the OS will do. Generally, if you want to develop any project, okay, if you want to develop any application, okay, these are the hardware configuration we require, right? So the CPU will do processing. So whatever the code we are writing, the CPU will do processing with the support of the image operating system. Okay, so this we have to convert into the object code. So for this, we'll do compile. Okay, compiler interpreter. So after compiling, okay, after compiling, this source code will convert it into object code, right? It means it is a byte code. We can call it as byte code. Don't worry, in the upcoming lectures, in the DevOps class, I will tell you how to implement these projects, right? So we call it as object code or the byte code, where the system can understand, where the machine can understand, and it can do the processing as per the requirement, right? Clear. So now this is the developer's process. Okay, what the developers are doing in the implementing stage. So we are learning step by step, right? So first, what we have done, this is the first step. The company had taken the requirements, right? So after the company had taken the requirements, the company management, the team lead, the project lead, they will sit together. They will develop the paperwork, background work. After that, the main team members will come. Okay, we are the different departments: the developers team, the testing team, the production team. Okay, the IT team. Okay, first, who will implement the project? The developers team. Okay, the developers team came into the picture. So they will start implementing the project, okay, using the hardware infrastructure of the company and the platform, okay, and also they will deploy the software packages. They will install the software packages. Like if they are writing the code in the Java, they will install certain software packages, right? They will install the Java in the system, in the machine, Java 11 version, or else any IDE tool, Eclipse, okay, Visual Studio Code. They will install the particular tools and they will start writing the code. What are the code they written? We call it as source code. But generally, the source code is the high level language where the machine cannot understand, right? So that to understand by the machine and to execute the code, what we are doing the compile. Okay, compile is a process. Compile is a build process. Okay, what the compile will do, it will convert what are the source code we written into object code. Matlab, it is a byte code in the binary format, zeros and ones. Okay, it is in the form of zeros and ones. Now, where the machine can understand, it will execute the function. Okay, it will execute the code as per the requirement. Right. Now, okay, the source code, okay, well, the developer start writing the code and they convert it into object code and well, and they done in the developer environment. Okay, what is the environment he is developing the code? in the development environment, Okay. Under this environment, he started developing the code. Once the code is done, okay, now the final format in the jar or var format, okay. After object code, we will attach with the libraries. Don't worry with the technical terms, okay. In practical, I will show everything in the CI/CD tools and all. So he will attach with the libraries and dependencies, okay. Then he will convert into execution format, final execution format in the form of .jar, Java archive, or a web application archive, okay. .jar format. Then he will deploy in the server, right? This is the developers are doing, okay. Developers will do this much. Now, what is the next step will come into the picture? What is the next stage? The next stage is the testing. Testing team come into the picture, okay. See, in order to, what is the fourth step here? Testing team, okay. Testing team will come into the picture. We call them as quality, okay. Quality engineers or quality assurance team. So what they will do? They will do the checks for the code. They will do the functional test to the code that is developed by the developers. Got it? They will do the functional test, right? Let me go to the next page. Let's say this is the first page because I don't have space here. Okay. So this is the fourth. The testing team comes into the picture with the greater infrastructure. If you see the box, if you observe the box for the developers, this is the box, right? This is the environment. This is the setup. Let's say 3 computers are working with the setup and all. So for the developers, let's say 10 people are there. They have the 10 people with the 10 missions they are doing. For the testing, they need almost a big infrastructure for the testing. Why? Because they are doing almost the functional test in the greater manner. Okay. You can integrate this example with the car testing. See, when the car is manufactured, okay, after car is manufactured, it goes to the testing team, right? It goes to the testing team. What the testing will do? They'll do the crash test. You know, once the car is manufactured, it directly not going to release into the public. Okay, it has to undergo a lot of testing, rigorous testing. Okay, rigorous testing it has to perform. It has to go for torque testing. It has to go for crash testing. It has to go see the accidental policies and all. Okay, so it has to need a lot of infrastructure. Here also, I'm talking the infrastructure, right? For the testing also, it requires a lot of infrastructure. So who going to take care of the infrastructure again? The company, right? Here as well, what we call it is a testing environment, test environment, right? Is the testing environment. Let's say after just now I told you to construct any house, right? Let's say the house is constructed now by the builders. What will do? The testing will done, right? Generally, the testing will done. Okay, the testing will see for the stress test. Okay, for the natural disaster test and all. So we do the rigorous testing. Then only if it is get approval, then we'll start using the house. In the same way, once the software application developed by the developers, okay, developed by the developers, it goes to the rigorous testing by the testing team. We call it under testing environment. Here they use lot of infrastructure. Here also, again, I'm saying lot of infrastructure has to be used, right? So again, the company has to pay. Okay, it's a company requirement because it has a project from the client, right? The company has to bear the things, and it has to invest on the infrastructure. Now, after the testing, what is the fifth stage? What is the fifth stage? Fifth stage is once the testing is passed. Okay, okay. So this testing, what the testing team will do? They will see the functional test of the coding. They will check whether the code is functioning as per the requirement of the client and see. They will fix any bugs. Okay, they will see for the bug. They will see any cyber hackings and all. Is any threat to the cybers and all? They will see everything in the security layer, everything in the big functionality way. So once they give approval, it will go to the final stage, project final stage into the production team. Okay, production team, right? So we calling it as production environment, prod environment. Okay, now this is the final stage where the users can access the application, right? This is the final stage where the users like you and me can access the application. What is the application here? The ABC, okay? ABC Bank application. Let's say it is the www dot. Let me write, okay? Let me have the text to understand it better, right? So www.abc.com. Okay, this is the website name, right? We'll start browsing or we'll install the application in the mobile phone, or else we'll go to the web browser, Microsoft Edge, Google browser, and we'll start browsing the application. So now we are the users now. Users of this application. Okay, now we are the users at the final stage, right? Yes. So now just focus here. Just focus here. So now to implement the project, we need the only the normal requirement of the infrastructure. Okay. We need the only normal requirement of the infrastructure. In the same infrastructure, we are carrying forward. Let's say the software is developed using the software Java 11 version. Okay. In the testing team also, okay, to test the same coding, they will also install the same software packages. Okay. They will also install the same software packages, but in the greater hardware level. Okay, but the hardware capacity is very big comparing to the dev environment. Okay, in the testing environment, the hardware configuration that we use, it is comparatively very big. Okay, let's say here, let's say the CPU is 12 core CPU. I think 12 core CPU. I think you know what is a CPU. Like it is for the processing. Okay, it is a processing unit. 12 core, matlab it will do almost 12. Let's say think in that way, it do almost 12 tasks. Okay, it can handle back-to-back 12 tasks. So it is the brain of the machine, right? And the RAM for the temporary purpose, okay, temporary storage purpose, so that in order to perform this processing, okay, something has to hold the data, right? So who is doing that? RAM. Let's say it is a 16 GB of RAM, right? Let's say it's a 16 GB of RAM, and this hard disk, let's say it is a 250 GB hard disk. And hard disk also, don't worry, in the upcoming lectures, I will discuss you hard disk types like HDD, hard disk drive, and solid state drive, magnetic. Okay. So let's say it is a 250 GB of SSD, which is very cost. And OS, we are using the Windows operating system, right? So the developers using this configuration to develop the project. In the testing team also, anyhow, they're using the same software configurations like Java 11. If developers are using Java 11 to develop the software, the testing team also using the Java 11. But whatever the hardware configuration, in order to test the code, okay, in order to test the code, they are quite using better hardware configuration. Now they are using, let's say, 18 core CPU, because we need more processing now, because we are testing rigorously, so that our processing unit should be more compared to developer team. And what is the RAM? Earlier, the developers use almost 16 GB of RAM, but the testing team, coming to the testing team, they will use almost like 30 GB of RAM, so that to support the CPU, right? And what is the hard disk? Earlier, they use just 250 GB. Now, let's say this testing team is using almost like a 500 GB. If you see, the hardware using of hardware capacity is increased, right? Now, in the production team, now what is this production team? It is a final stage. It is a final stage. Okay, it is a final environment where the testing team given the approval, right? Where the testing team is given approval for the code package. Then it will reach to the production team. We call it as operational team or IT team, IT operational team, where they will deploy the code in the servers, right? Where they will deploy the code in the servers. See, again, one more term came, servers. I'll tell you what is server. Don't worry if you don't know the things. I'll tell you what is servers, right? Okay. See, in the before example, I told you, right? In order to, when we approach the banks, okay, when we approach the banks physically, when we request something, okay, like cash withdraw, okay, or else cash deposit, it is our request to the banks. And what the banks is doing, they're responding to us. Okay, they're responding as per the request. Matlab, they are serving. Okay, they're serving the services. Okay, they're serving the services. In order to give one more best example, let's say this is you. Okay, let's say this is me. Okay, in order to, I want to have some food. Okay, I want to have some food. Right? What I'll do, I'll go to the hotel, nearby hotel. Okay, I'll go to the nearby hotel. So So is it okay to me to directly go to the hotel kitchen? Guys? Whether the people, the hotel management will allow me to go to the kitchen and to take the food that is required to me?
No,
No, right? So who will be act in between the two? There is one mediator, we call the server or waiter, right? Server or waiter, right? So when we put our request, when we put our food request to the server, what he will do? He will, okay, this is our request. We are putting to the server, right? The waiter. So when we put that request to the server, what he will do? He will already, he is a person of the hotel. Okay. He will take the request from us and he will fetch the details. Like he will take the required thing. Okay. He will take the food from the kitchen and all because he has the authority. Okay. He has the permissions to take the food from the kitchen. What are the food we have requested? So that request, he is responding to us. With that food, okay, he is responding to the request. What are the order we have posted? Right? Now, what is the purpose of the server here? What is the purpose of the server? What is the function of the server? Two functions, right? The server has the two functions. It is very important, guys. Please, okay, please kindly pay attention. Okay, two functions done by the server here. What are the first function? One is holding the things, holding the product, right? What is another function? Responding to the request. Responding to the request. Clear? Right? Is it okay to everyone? What is the purpose of the server? What are the two functions of the main server? Two main functions of the server. First, it is holding the product and it is also responding to the request, right? In the same way, when the production team decided to make this application into the public, domain. So what they will do, they have to deploy this application in the server. Server is nothing but it is a software in the machine. Okay. In the machines, okay, in the machines, we have to install the server software. Okay, inside the server, I told you just now what is the purpose of the server. The server has the capability to hold the product. What is the product here? Our application, final application. Not only holding the product, what it will do? It will also respond to the user's request, right? Okay, when the users have downloaded or when they want to doing the web browsing, okay, right? If they're requesting, okay, if they're requesting for any data from the application, the server immediately will do respond to the users. Okay, now is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? What is the purpose of the server? Now, okay. So generally we call it as two-tier architecture. Okay, this thing, okay, we call it as two-tier architecture. So it is the relation between the server and the client. We call it as users, server and the users, or the server and the clients. So it is a two-tier architecture, right? Now, if you see the production team also, let's say the production team for a time being, here also they will use what is the hardware configuration they will use. Okay, what is the hardware configuration they are using? So in order to hold the traffic from the users, let's say today 100 people are there. Okay, 100 members are using this application. Okay, 100 members download the application, are doing the web browsing. They are using this application, right? So the production team, what is the capacity of the production? Let's say initially they are using 26 core CPU. CPU capacity is 26 core. And let's say it is using 32 GB RAM and 1000 GB hard disk. Again, who going to invest for this? The company. Okay, see here as well, the company has to invest a lot of amount in the hardware configuration. Here also, as per the requirements, the company has to invest the hardware configuration. But the thing is that the issue comes into the picture. Okay, just focus now. We're going to deal with the issue now. What is the issue? Let's say for the 100 members, this is enough. Okay, for the 100 members, this machine is capable enough to hold the 100 members. The other day, let's say more 500 members are downloading the application or using this application. Okay, more 500 members are sending the request to this application, and the server is doing the response to the users as per the request from the users, right? Do you think, let's say like that, if the users count is increased to 1 lakh, okay, one day the users count has increased to 1 lakh. Do you think the same hardware configuration going to support, so that the application where it going to respond to the users, whether the CPU can, whether the RAM and the CPU can process the 1 lakh people at a time, processing a 1 lakh request at a time, guys? Whether the server can respond to the 1 lakh users at a time?
No.
Do you think? No. Yes. Because I think sometimes you felt like server down, right? Right. Sometimes you people felt most of the times, if the traffic is heavy to the application, okay, where the server is unable to respond to the users, most of the users, what is the what we can face, like generally we feel server down because due to heavy traffic. Okay, because of heavy traffic, matlab heavy requesting. Okay, the users count is very high, who are requesting to the, okay, who are approaching to the server very high in a big amount, where the machine is incapable, okay, incapable to respond to all the users at a time, right? So that is why we are facing server down. Now immediately what the company will do, in order to satisfy the bank, in order to satisfy his client, what the company will do, again they will invest, okay, again they will invest, right? Again they will set up some other configurations. They will okay, they will integrate, they will set up, they'll invest on the hardware configuration. Okay, again they will purchase more 12 core CPU, let's say. Okay, and along with 32 GB RAM, they will take more 12 GB of RAM, just for example, and along with 1000 GB, which is not enough to store the data. Okay, so let's say again they will purchase 500 GB. But we can't predict, right? For 1 lakh it is okay, but if let's say 2 lakhs people will come, again what is the issue? Server down. If the users facing server down issue, okay, the bank will lose the customers. Definitely, he will fire on the company because of his irresponsibility. So in order to hold his client, in order to not to lose his project, what he will do? Definitely he will invest. Okay, again he will upgrade, he will invest on the infrastructure, right? So this is where the companies nowadays, most of the companies unnecessarily they are investing a lot of amount on the capex. We call it as capital expenditure, right? Capital expenditure, right? So to give you a simple example, let's say this is me. Okay, I want to purchase a car. Okay, just thinking this way, I want to purchase a car, right? This is my car. I want to purchase one car, which is 10 lakhs. Which is 10 lakhs. Okay, I have to pay 10 lakhs. Okay, which is the capital expenditure to me? We call it as capex. It's my capital expenditure at the initial investment. Okay, fine. So do you think, guys, do you think whether the capital expenditure is the only enough to maintain a car? What are the other expenses after purchasing the car that I have to face day by day, day-to-day life after purchasing the car?
Maintenance, fuel.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we have to invest on the fuel, right? And we have to invest on the repair, right? After a certain period of time, we have to invest on the repair and we have to invest for the servicing. Okay, what we call it as altogether. Okay, we call it as operational expenditure. Okay, we call it as OPEX, which is operational expenditure, right? So altogether, if you notice that in order to just to purchase a car, my budget is very high, right? I have to invest a lot of amount on the capital expenditure initially, and also the operational expenditure for the day-to-day maintenance, right? So altogether, it is a very big task to me, right? So what is the option to me to overcome this budget? Okay, what is the feasible solution? What is the solution to me? So this is the issue, right? Budget is the issue now. What is the issue? Budget, right? What is the first issue? Budget. Let's say, okay, I'm ready to bear this capital expenditure and operational expenditure. What is another issue? Whether I'm using every day. Yes. Do you think whether I am using every day? No, right? Whenever the need comes, then only I will use. Matlab not efficient way, right? I'm not using the car in an efficient way. not efficient use. Okay, not using the efficient way. So this is my one more issue. What is the first issue? What is the budget? Where I have to bear the capital expenditure and operational expenditure. And what is another issue? I'm not using the things very efficient way. Okay, I'm not using the car very efficient way. Matlab, whenever the need comes, then only I'm using the car. So what is the alternative? What is the solution now? Yes, what is the solution, do you think, to overcome this? Tell me. Come on, guys. Please be interactive. So what is the solution that I have to overcome this? So any idea? Do you have any idea?
Reduce your capex, maybe.
Reducing capex. Okay, but still the issue will be there, right? Still, do you think if you're reducing capex, but still I have to maintain the opex, even the capex is down, still I have to focus on the opex as well, right?
Yes.
So what is the solution might be? Can I go for the rental instead of purchasing my own car and facing the lot of expenses and all? Can I go for rental like Uber, Ola, transports? What do you say? Yes, rental. I can use the rental services
Yes.
just like Uber, Ola. So yes, right. I can use a Uber and Ola where I need not to maintain, where I need not to invest anything. No capital expenditure, no operational expenditure. So what is the rental services? This how they are working? They're just working as a pay-as-you-go model, right? What is the funda? Pay-as-you-go, right? Let's say I will travel today. I book a Uber cab and I travel for 10 kilometers. Just I'm paying only for 10 kilometers cost, right? So that is a funda of like pay-as-you-go model, right? So I need not to worry about the capex. I need not to worry about the operational expenditure. So with this model, so with the rental services, what I can do, I can only use the services. Okay, I can only use the services when is required, so that I'm using the efficient way. So this issue solved. And in the budget also, I need not to invest 80 time, right? I need not to invest 10 lakhs 80 time, and I am no worry about the fuel repairing and servicing because it is not my car. I'm just worried. I'm just using the pay-as-you-go model only. I'll pay when I use for the required usage only, right? If I use only for 10 kilometers, I'll pay only for 10 kilometers. If I use 20, I'll use only for 20 kilometers, right? So that is the solution, right? In the same way, guys, okay, in the same way, what happening here? So in order to develop any simple project, okay, in order to develop any simple project, any single project by the company, okay, in order to develop it, just listen, okay, in order to develop a single project by the company, they have to set up the dev environment, okay, and also they have to set up the test environment, and also they have to set up the prod environment also. So in order to set up these environments, in order to set up these platforms to develop the project and to make it into the public, the companies has to invest a lot of amount in the hardware infrastructure, right? Hardware infrastructure. So what is the capex here? Investment on the hardware. Now, what is the opex here? Can you tell? If you understand in the previous example of my car, so what is the opex the company has to bear? Capex is the investment, right? Because no one is going to give the rental of the laptops. Do you have any such services? Rental laptops for 1-2 days or 1 month? Yes. Do anyone is providing like that for the rental laptops, getting the laptops for rental? Do the companies are doing like that? No, right? It is not a good way of using the things. Definitely, they have to invest on the infrastructure. Yes. So what is the OPEX thing that company is facing day-to-day life? Okay. What is the OPEX thing that company is facing day-to-day life? Anyone? What is the operational expenditure? Apart from the CapEx on the hardware infrastructure and the configuration, what is the operational expenditure that companies are facing day-to-day life?
Well, it requires electricity maybe, and
yes,
a place
exactly.
to keep all those equipment.
Yes, electricity. We need the security. We need the cooling. Yes. And anyhow, these are the hardware. Definitely, there is a lifetime. There are certain lifetime where they will go for the repair, right? Where they will go for the replacement. So this week comes under the service, right? So altogether, okay, altogether it is an operational expenditure. So it is a very big headache to the companies. Okay, big headache to the companies. Not only the company, let's say even the small startup. Do you think the startup can able to bear these expenses for the startups to handle the projects from the client? Not only the startups, even the individual. Let's say tomorrow you want to develop the project from your client individually, and a few other people said you are working for the US clients. Individual, you thought to develop the project. Okay, you want to develop your own project for the clients as a freelancer. So do you think it's going to feasible to you to invest a lot of amount on the capital expenditure and the operational expenditure? No, right?
No.
So what is the solution do we have? The solution is the cloud computing. Okay, the solution is the cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is a game changer. Okay, cloud computing is a game changer. It came with a big solution that where it make the relief to everyone to use the infrastructure in the best way. Okay, so before going to further, let's have the PPT once. Okay, what I have taught till now, just look into the PPT. So before going to further, shall we take 1 minute break? Yes, shall we have 1 minute break? Like, do you have any doubts till now? Is it okay? If the session is informative?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So, Surya. Yeah, Surya, you want to talk anything? Surya?
Hello.
Yeah, Surya.
Yeah, nothing by mistake I pressed it.
Yeah, fine. So I think you are okay with the session, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So is it informative?
Yeah, informative.
Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. So now so I hope it's clear, right? So we'll see the PPTs once. So whatever till now I taught, just we'll see in the slides in the graphical way. Okay. Yes. So now what I taught till now, everything is there in the PPT as well. Okay. If you see the SDLC, software development life cycle, it will start from the steps. Okay. It will start from the requirement analysis. Who will give the requirement analysis? The client. Here, who is the client to us? Bank. Okay. Who is the client to us? Bank ABC, right? Okay, the client will give the requirement analysis before starting any project. Let's say it's a standard operating procedure, SOP, for any company to start the project. What they will do first step, they will take the requirements and they will do analysis. Like Kashif. Yeah, Kashif.
Yes, I sorry to interrupt. Actually, I'm not sure. I raised my hand twice, thrice. Maybe it got. So, should I ask the question or should I wait for continuing this? Like,
No, you had it out. I seen you have raised your hand, so that's I'm asking. I just
yes. I think you missed it a couple of times. I did it. So,
sorry. Okay.
no,
Yeah.
it's fine. Not an issue. So basically, yeah. What question I had is that, so this is what you are giving is the SDLC life cycle. I mean, the normal how it works. That is fine. The other part is that from the DevOps perspective, like AWS DevOps. Okay, the basically this training. DevOps means in like what exactly it will, cover. Like that is what we wanted to know. Was it
Yes.
related to any Java specific or what like any all the technologies or what like exactly it is? Just wanted to,
Yes.
or you can tell later also whatever after the.
No. Yeah, I'll clear it now itself.
Okay.
So Kashif, if you see my second slide, for the course content, here we have the QR code. Okay. If you
Okay.
scan this code, you can come to know what the session is going to be, what we're going to cover. See, only the learning the DevOps is not right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because even the DevOps, we are using the cloud computing technology.
Okay.
Okay. In the DevOps, see, the purpose of the DevOps is DevOps is a process. Okay. It is a combination of it's a bridge. It is actually acting as a bridge between the developers team, okay, and the operational team. Okay. So that in order to finish the project as early as possible in the best and efficient way. Okay. DevOps is a process actually. Okay. Like CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and release into the public domain. Right. So here you can see, okay, only learning the DevOps is not enough. DevOps, we have the 8 phases. In the DevOps, we have the 8 phases. Like we are using the different tools where we're going to learn the upcoming batches, like upcoming sessions. We are learning the Git and GitHub, where the developers are using. Okay, where the developers are using the Git and GitHub for the source code management. And after we are using the Maven. Maven is a build tool. I told you how to compile the code, source code into the object code. So Maven is a build tool. Okay, we are using the Maven for the purpose. And also we are packaging the things, right? We have the goals in the Maven. And we also have the artifacts like a project structure. If you want to develop the project in the Java, the Maven is giving the project structure as well.
Okay.
If you want to build a project in the Java code, source code, and Java test code, for every code, we have the test code as well. So the Maven is a very easy tool to us, helping us. Okay. So we are using the DevOps tools for the project to develop the project in an easy way. So Maven, we're using the like it's a project section, and we're also using the POM file, okay, project object model for the dependencies. You need not to go to the third-party softwares, okay. So that it is a Maven, and after that we are seeing the Jenkins. Jenkins is a CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment.
Yeah,
See
that is the Hudson, correct?
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see that. Okay, that is a flow. But in order to learn those things, AWS is a base. Okay,
Okay.
believe me, without the AWS, means not only AWS, you should understand at least one cloud computing technology
Okay.
resources. I told you, right? Most of the companies are using the cloud computing infrastructure.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, they're using the infrastructure from the cloud computing. If you know, if you don't know the cloud computing infrastructure, what is the EC2, what is the S3, what is the VPC from the AWS? Okay, once we start the AWS, we have to know the cloud computing resources. What is the compute resources? What is the storage resources? Okay, what is the networking resources? What is the database resources we are doing in the cloud computing? If you know the things well, definitely you can implement in the DevOps with very ease.
Okay.
Okay, yes, my suggestion directly going into the DevOps, it's not so good.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to understand actually what basically the course.
Yeah,
consists.
for more content, for the course content, you can scan the QR code, and if you want to register, if you like this course, because the same place will go from the very scratch in detail. Okay, not jumping into the things. Again, I'm telling you, we will swim and sink together. Okay, from the basic things, right?
Okay,
So
fine.
that is the main thing. Okay, you should be very clear about the things or no. Right?
Yeah.
I hope I cleared your query.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Yes. Okay, so in the SDLC, you seen this. So requirement analysis, then the plan will come. Okay, plan will come into the action, paper, the background work, and the implement will come. Who will do the implement? The DevOps team. Okay, the not DevOps, like a developers team. Okay, the software engineers. So what the architecture they are using, instead of using the own company architecture, the company shifted to the AWS. What is the AWS? I will tell you in the upcoming slides. I'll clear you. Okay, so in order to develop any application, just me a small thing. Just a small clarity for the, okay. See, for any application, I think most of the people know nowadays many application is like a 3-tier. We call it as 3-tier application, right? What is a 3-tier application? We call it as application stack as well. Okay, we call it as application stack. What is this? Okay, anyone? 3-tier application, see, for any application, we have the front end. Okay, front end, we are using the HTML, or we are using the React, okay, and CSS for the front end. I will show you practical. Okay, don't worry. And we have the backend. For the backend, we are using the logical language, logical high level language. Right? Let's say it may be Python, Java. Okay, so it is like a backend application to develop the backend, and along with that, we are using the database to store the data. So what exactly this? Okay, let's say MySQL database. What exactly this? I will show you. Okay. Okay, if you're new to the, okay, if you're, let's say if you're non-IT, okay, if you're new to these things, see, let's say I want to open the Facebook. Okay, I want to open the, let's say, Facebook, www.facebook.com. Right. So this is the front end page. Okay, this is the front end where the login. I have to log in or okay, I have to log in or create an account. This is the front end page. This is where it is developed using the HTML or CSS styles or React. Okay, Node.js or React.js. Okay, so once I log in, it will go to the home page. Okay, this is the static to everyone, right? This front end page, it is a common to everyone. Do you agree? Even if I open in my web browser, even if you open the same thing, the content is same to everyone, right? So it is a like front end page, which is almost it is static. Whereas the backend, what's happening? It is taking us to the backend page, that home page of the Facebook, where it is different to different one, right? The home page is different to the different people, where it is called as dynamic content. The content is very dynamic, right? So that is a backend. So how it is developing using the high level language, using the logical coding, right? So after that, in order to save these credentials, okay, in order to save my Facebook credentials in the front end, or else in order to save the backend posting, okay, what are the posts that have posted in the backend? Okay, what are the posts that have posted in the backend? In order to save this data, where they're going to save in the MySQL database, right? If you give the wrong password, let's say if you give the wrong password, so how the Facebook know that you've given the wrong password because it will fetch the data. Once you create an account, it will fetch the data from the MySQL database. Not only MySQL, it fetches the data from the it see the query from the database. Okay, it will see whether it is matching, the credentials are matching. If it is not matching the required credential, it is incorrect. Okay, it is unable to take you to the next page, right? That is what the 3-tier web application. Okay, it is what the 3-tier web application. And one more thing. Yes, while coming, I'll teach you. Don't worry. I want to teach you what is IP address as well. It is very important to know in the networking IP addresses and what is the port and what is the domain name. Okay. Just in a couple of minutes, I will deal with this. Okay. It is also very important. It is also very basic things you should know before going into the AWS, right? So they're using the infrastructure, okay, and they're developing the project. As I told you, source code, again, they will compile into the object vendor, and the testing team will come into the picture. And the deployment, who will do the operational team will do deployment, and they'll do continuous maintenance. Right, they'll take continuous feedback from the users. Okay, so this SDLC is not only the same structure. Okay, it is not necessary every time it should follow step 1, then step 2, then step 3, step 4. Okay, then step 5. Then comes into the step 6. Not every time it has to follow the same thing. Okay, there are the different types of SDLC. We have the different models. We have the waterfall model. Okay, we have the agile model. We have the spiral, iterative model, V model. Okay, don't worry. While I start the DevOps class, we're going to deal with these 2 models. Okay, we're going to deal with the 2 models and what are the drawbacks. Okay, what are the drawbacks in the waterfall model and what are the drawbacks in the agile model, agile method. We'll see the drawbacks. Then the DevOps came into the picture to reduce the drawbacks. Okay. Then the DevOps emerged to overcome these drawbacks. Okay, so that is why I'm very emphasizing on the SDLC. You should know SDLC, right? So now, as I told you, environment. What is the environment? So, and what is the environment? I told you there are the different environments. It is a dev environment, developers environment. It is a test environment, and it is a prod environment. Production environment where the users can access the product, right? So like this, we have the different environments. What is the environment? Basically, it is a platform, right? Which is used to run our application. Okay, which is used to run our application. So for the application development environments, we have the different environments in order to develop any application. As I told you, we have the dev environment. So where the developers will use to perform the code integration testing. Matlab, they will develop the code and also they will do certain integration testing. And what is the QA environment? It is a testers. Okay, the testers will come. They'll do the functional testing, right? And we have the other environment also. We are the, let's say, okay, it is not important, but you should know. More information it is very important sometimes. UAT environment also, where it called as users acceptance testing. Okay, where the client side is also will do testing. Okay, the client side. Who is the client? No, the bank. The bank also will do testing. Okay, if he's satisfied, then it's okay. Okay, sometimes he also do testing. That environment we call it as user acceptance testing. Okay, now pilot environment means before it goes to the production environment, first they will do pilot environment also. It is called pre-production environment because it is not directly from the quality to the production environment. In between, the pilot environment comes, so they'll do some performance testing. Okay, like I told you, for the car, they'll do crash test. Okay, for the car, they will do crash test. Okay, they'll check the crash test. So here also, performance testing, they will see what happens if 1 lakh people will come and use the resources, they will do. Okay, they will do such kind of testing. It is called pilot environment. Now, what is the product environment? It is a final environment. It is also called as live environment, right? Where the end users, like we are the customers of ABC Bank. So what we'll do, we'll access this application, right, which is running in the production environment. Let's say I told you Facebook.com, where actually it is located in the production environment of the company, right? In the production environment of the company. See here, we are just entering the URL, right? www.facebook.com. Here, I want to tell you one more important thing. Okay. So I think it's a developer team. What the developer team will do, responsible for project development, is you do the coding. And what the testing team will do, you will do the verification and validation of the coding, and he will check the functionality testing. And what the operational team will do, the operational team, what they will do, they will build and also they will deploy in the servers, right? They will build, matlab, they will package. Okay, they will compile, they will deploy into the production, okay, in the production servers as well. That is the operational team. So what is the DevOps now? The combination of the dev and the operations comes into the DevOps. But don't worry, first I will emphasize on the AWS, okay. So SDLC, if you see the infrastructure is going. For the development, we are using just normal infrastructure. For the testing, the infrastructure is increased. For the production also, the infrastructure is quite bigger. I told you why, right? I told you why. Now, some companies will purchase and set up infrastructure that is called on-premise infrastructure, right? We call it as on-premises infrastructure. Now, many of your people are working in many big MNCs. Now, after going to the company, after going to your office, you can see in your cabin, you can have your own setup like CPU, desktop, and all. So that setup, okay, that setup from the company, okay, they had purchased that setup. So that setup we call it as on-premises, right? It is your on-premises infrastructure, right? So who is managing that? The company, right? The company is managing everything. Managing matlab what? What they are managing? I told you, CapEx, right? Capital expenditure, and also the OpEx, operational expenditure. So which takes a lot of money and a lot of time as well, right? Right. So these are big servers they have to maintain. I think, you know, if you're working, if you've seen in a company, there is a server room, separate server room to hold the applications, to fetch the data, to have the communication to the users, with the users, right? If you see, okay, if you don't just see in your company, there is definitely there is a server room, right? For holding the applications, right? And big hardware components. But the thing is that this is the problems. For the on-premise infrastructure, the company is facing a lot of cost, capital expenditure, and where they have to pay advanced level, right? They have to pay upfront, okay? They have to pay before only in order to purchase the infrastructure. And there is no guarantee. The company has to face the disaster recovery. We don't know the natural disasters when they will come. Okay, the company has to get ready for the disasters. Okay, and the company has to face the surveillance and also scalability. I told you, whenever the requirement comes, the company has to upgrade the resources. Okay, hardware replacement, right, and also upgradation. So these are all the problems facing by the company's day-to-day life. So instead of setting up on-premise infrastructure, we can go for cloud infrastructure. Okay, this is the solution. Cloud infrastructure. Okay, so now what the cloud infrastructure is doing? It is delivering the resources. Okay, what the cloud is doing? What the cloud computing is doing? On demand. Okay, these keywords are very important, so that's why I'm writing on demand, delivery of what? IT resources. Okay, through virtually. Okay, matlab internet. Clear? So let's say if you have any function at your home, okay, you need 100 chairs. Whether you're going to purchase 100 chairs or you will go for the rental purpose, definitely you'll go for the rental purpose. After the usage, what will you? You will return the resources, okay, and you will pay for the amount of time that you are using the resources. You will pay for that. The same way, the cloud computing, what they're doing, they are delivering the IT resources. What are the IT resources that we need? Okay, what are the IT resources we need for the computing? We need the computing for the CPU. We need the computing resources, right? Okay, in order to develop the application, what are the 4 main parameters we need? 4 main resources we need: computing for the CPU, okay, and the storage to store the data, networking to connect to the public, okay, and also the database. Okay, these are the 4 main parameters. Okay, in order to develop any project, these are the 4 pillars. Let's say they are the 4 pillars to develop the project. So in order to, okay, the company, in order to save the CapEx and OpEx, okay, they can approach the cloud computing service providers. Okay, cloud computing service providers. Now what they're doing, they're telling that, see companies, okay, my dear companies, please don't invest a lot of amount on the CapEx and the OpEx. Okay, don't invest a lot of amount on the CapEx and OpEx. Please come to us. Okay, please come to us. We are providing the required resources, IT resources to you. Okay, we have already set up the resources globally in the form of data centers. Okay, in the form of data centers, we have already constructed, we have already built a big infrastructure globally. Okay, from the data centers, we going to give the required IT resources to develop your project through virtually, right? Through virtually, you can access the resources from the data centers, okay, from the nearby data centers. Now, who are the cloud computing providers in the market? Who are the cloud computing providers in the market? We have the Amazon. From the Amazon, we have the AWS, Amazon Web Service. From the Google, we have the GCP, Google Cloud Platform. From the Microsoft, we have the Azure. Okay, from the Microsoft, we have the Azure and Oracle, IBM, etc. So these are all the cloud computing providers. What they are doing, they are servicing. Okay, they are delivering the resources, IT resources to the users. Who are the users here? It might be MNCs companies, it might be startup company, it might be individual. Okay, how they're getting the resources from the cloud computing providers, service providers to the internet. So now happily they can use the resources, required user resources, that too in the form of pay-as-you-go model, right? In the form of pay-as-you-go model. So now we have the cloud infrastructure in the market, so we can happily use the cloud infrastructure in the form of rental purpose, right? Who will manage the resources? Who will take care of the infrastructure? Because who will the owners, the cloud managers, the cloud infrastructures, the service providers, cloud computing service providers, they are the managers, right? They will manage the setup. Okay, you need not to worry about these problems because the entire infrastructure is managed by the cloud computing service providers, right? The entire infrastructure is provided to us from the cloud computing service providers, right? Okay. So they're providing the databases, they're providing everything, servers, etc., everything. So how are we going to access these resources? Through the internet. So what happening here? So that whatever the capex and whatever the opex, okay, it's going to come down. We need not to worry about the capex and the opex, right? Is it clear? Clear to everyone? What is the picture of the cloud computing? Guys, is it clear to everyone? What is the issue and what is the picture of the cloud computing? And what is the purpose of the AWS?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So in the upcoming, you can see the slides like how it is going to deliver. Okay, what are the resources? Means how globally the AWS is very big in the infrastructure level. Why we are only studying the AWS, right? Why you choose an AWS? Why not GCP, right? Why don't you choose the GCP? Why don't you choose the Azure? Why you choosing the only AWS as one of the global leading cloud computing service provider? Because if you know the statics, if you see the statics, the AWS infrastructure is very big comparing to the Microsoft and the Azure. It is the latest report from the Gartner. Okay, latest report from the Gartner. Now, this Gartner, if you see the leaders board, the Amazon Web Service, which is one of the global leading cloud computing service provider. Now, I think you know technical terms, cloud computing. Matlab, you know now, right? What is the cloud computing service provider doing? They are just delivering the IT resources to the required users through the internet, right? So now, if you see the leaderboard, Amazon Web Service is the top, followed by the Microsoft Azure, then the Google GCP. How the Amazon Web Service become so fast? Like how it become very fast? How it grown very fast? Because the infrastructure globally it had set up. Have you ever seen the data centers? How it looks like? Yes. Let me show you the data centers. How it look like. If you see the AWS data center, have you ever seen this? See the images? Yes. This is how the data centers look like. Physically, it is located. Physically, the big setup, the big infrastructure is located. Inside this setup, you can see the big machines. Okay, you can see the big machines, big servers, like a big CPU capacity. Okay, big RAM, 1000 GB. Let's say every machine can hold like 1000 GB of RAM. Okay, 1 TB of hard disk, big capacity of CPU, etc. Right? This is the data center setup. Globally, the AWS have such kind of data centers. Right? See, AWS buys some 9.2 million worth of land in Sweden to build the data centers. Why they are spending $1 million? because globally many companies are looking forward for the AWS only to develop the projects in order to get the infrastructure. Okay, right? Globally, you can have this. We have the data center, but might you have the doubt, sir, how it is possible? Okay, how it is possible to get the resources? Physically, it is located, but I am saying that virtually we can access these resources. But how? Why? How it is possible? Anyone knows? Anyone have any idea? What concept they are using? Any idea? Who are aware of the AWS? Any idea how we going to get the resources from here? Yes, Santhya. Santhya.
VPC or VPN.
You mean VPC or VPN? Yeah, but VPC or VPN is a concept in the AWS, one of the concept in the AWS. Okay, but any other idea? Anyone? How are we going to use this resources? Okay.
Using
Internet?
virtualization.
Sorry.
Using virtualization.
Yes, exactly. Okay, using the concept of virtualization. Great. Right, using the concept of virtualization. Okay, now the next 2 slides, I'm going to deal with what is the virtualization concept, right? So using the virtualization concept, okay, the cloud computing using the virtualization concept, and they're delivering these hardware resources to us. Okay, yes. So this is what is virtualization now. Now comes into the picture. Now you know what is SDLC. Okay, now you know the cloud computing as well. Okay, and now you know the issues facing by the companies. Even it might be Infosys, any big MNCs or even the startup companies, what are the issues they are facing in the CapEx and OpEx, and how the cloud computing helping the people, okay, by delivering their hardware configurations to the users. But how? The solution is a virtualization. Okay, so what is the virtualization? Again, I'll go to the PPT. Okay, I'll go to the whiteboard to read the things. Right. So traditionally, guys, you need any kind of break. Okay, before going to the virtualization concept. Okay, if you understand the virtualization, the game is over. Okay, you can easily handle the AWS concepts. If you know the basics of the virtualization, okay, and what is a virtualization, how it is acting, okay, and how it is doing the versions, okay, version. What is a virtualization? It is a kind of versions, okay, it is a replication of something. Okay, virtualization is nothing but it is a version of something. Okay, it is a replication or it is a imitating of something. What we are imitating here? The hardware. Okay, we are imitating the hardware and we are distributing the hardware to the users. Okay, I will tell you, don't worry this. Okay, if you know the virtualization game, you are happily, you can enjoy the AWS. Okay, no worries. Okay, now upcoming classes, we're going to see the types of hypervisors. The software is the 2 types, type 1 and type 2. Okay, how it's going to act. And after that, we see the cloud computing also. What are the cloud computing basics? Okay, we have the different types of like a deployment models. Okay, we have the different types of deployment models. Right. Like public, private, community, hybrid. Then after that, we're going to see the service models. What is the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, okay, software as a service, right? Then we're going to deal with the AWS, okay, with AWS, particularly AWS as a cloud computing service provider, and we see the infrastructure. So how the infrastructure looks like, what is the region and what is the availability zone, what is the data center, how they're connected, and what is the market, what is the history of the AWS, okay, what is the history of the AWS, how it growth, we see the AWS growth of the AWS, right? And what is the market trends in the 2023? Okay, and after that, how to work on the AWS, right? How to work on the AWS and how to set up the free tier account in the AWS. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn in the next lecture. So shall we take for 5 minutes break, guys? So before going to start the virtualization concept from the base, shall we go for 5 minutes break?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that,
Kashif.
that sounds good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Just
Kashif.
yeah, it's fine. We can go for a break. So Sai Kumar, just one thing. These PPTs and all we are going to get now, like after the lecture.
Yeah, you're going to get anyhow the classes recording. If you go into the recording class, going to get the recording class, obviously going to access these PPTs.
Okay, fine.
Because why I'm very particular in this way of teaching, because see, every day the things are changing, right? Every day we have to learn a lot of stuff. We have to remember a lot of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
if we learn in this way, okay, if we learn in this board writing of the pictures, visualization, definitely going to remember this for a long term, right? definitely it will going to helpful for the long way.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, yes. Because already we had made a lot of changes from the very scratch. The people who done a lot of change, who are getting a good packages outside, the basic training and all, they're doing very great. So I want, it's my passion of teaching in the same way. I think if you are okay with this, guys, let me know. Are you okay in this kind of teaching, or you need any kind of fast pace? You need kind of any other changes from me? So that definitely I will do. No worries. Are you okay with this kind of things?
Well,
Yeah, this is okay.
in my
yeah.
opinion, interactive sessions are actually more interesting to
More
understand
interesting?
new things.
Yes, yes, great. See, oh, for everything I told you, what is a port security group, right? And the IP address. You should know it is a very beautiful. After the break, definitely I will tell you. Okay. I will after the break, we'll see the what is virtualization. But before virtualization, I will tell you the concept of domain name. Okay. How the domain name and the IP address going to work. It is so interesting topic. You should know these. Okay. Yes.
Sai, I was suggesting maybe we can just continue with the session because out of 2 hours we only have 30 minutes left. So maybe we can wrap it up 5 minutes early, if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay with
sure, sure.
everyone.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I think it is 9. It is like 7:23. Okay, I will resume the session by 7:30. What you say? Just for 5 minutes break. Have some water, everyone, just for relax. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
After, right? Yes. Thank you. Just have just 5 minutes break. Again,
Yeah.
we'll see the new things. Okay. For everything, we are the new things. Definitely, we're going to see the beautiful thing. Thank you. Okay. By 7:30, again, we'll resume the session. Thanks for the patience. Yes. So now, first we'll see the virtualization background, okay, concept of virtualization and how the cloud computing service providers like Amazon Web Service or Google Cloud Platform, how they're delivering the IT resources to us and how we are accessing them. Okay, we'll clear this concept, okay? Yes. So now traditionally, what is the computing model we know? So, okay, this is our computer hardware, right? This is our machine hardware. Okay, let's say this machine, my laptop, okay, let's say this is my laptop. In this machine, okay, in my laptop, it is like a 12-core CPU. And it is a 8 GB RAM. And I'm using 250 GB of hard disk. Okay, this is the hardware configuration, right? Definitely, when you go to the computer shop, right, if you want to purchase a computer, definitely you will tell the configuration. You will tell these features. Okay, what is the CPU capacity and what is the RAM capacity and what is the hard disk space you require, okay, for your usage, right? For your usage, it may be anything. Okay, it may be any purpose. Okay, definitely you will ask for you will go with the configuration details, the basic configuration details. And upon that, you will also look for the operating system. It is your choice. After purchasing the machine, okay, using this hardware configuration setup, okay, you can install any operating system. You can install the Windows or you can install the Linux. Okay, we call it as image. We call it as image. I think you know the purpose of the operating system in your mobile, in our mobile day-to-day life. We are using number of applications, how they are running because of the operating system. Okay, operating system act as a bridge. Okay, let's say this is my WhatsApp application. Okay, in my laptop, let's say I'm using the WhatsApp web application. How the application is running, how this application is performing. In order to perform this application, okay, it has to process. Okay, it has to process and it has to store the data, right? Where it is getting the things from the machine hardware configuration, right? How it is interacting with the hardware configuration and how it is getting the process done through the operating system. Through operating system, the image of the machine, okay, it is acting as a bridge between your software applications and the hardware configurations, right? So upon the hardware, what we are installing the operating system. And upon the operating system, we are running number of applications, right? We are running number of applications. Have you ever seen this? Let me show this. Let me show. Okay, let's say I'm opening like many new tabs and all. Okay, let me check how much data, how much it is processing. Browse task manager. See how much CPU I'm using for the particular tab, for the new tabs. Okay, for the old tabs, you can see how much CPU processing I'm using, how much ID, how much memory I'm using, how much RAM I'm using, right? So where it is getting, how it is getting, where it is getting from our hardware configuration, from a laptop configuration, what are the CPU, what are the RAM, it is allocated to this application. How it is allocated? Through the support of the operating system, right? I think you are unable to see. Yes, now I think you can see the browser task manager. You can see I'm opening the new tabs and I'm using the WhatsApp. Okay, I'm using this GPU processor browser. Okay, new tabs and all. So the memory and the CPU allocated to this particular tabs. Okay, got it. So this is allocated from our existing resource only, right? From an existing resource only, the resource is allocated to the application. Okay. So this is the traditional computing model. Traditionally, we are using number of applications. Commonly, we are running on the common existing hardware configuration, right? We are almost using number of applications which are running on the common hardware configuration. The same hardware configuration will supply to the application running. Okay. Now, the virtualization concept is telling that, see, if you run the applications like that, might the application performance will get down. Why? Why? Anyone? Any idea? Because there is a limitation of the hardware, right? We have only 12 CPU, core CPU, and only 8 GB of RAM. If you run the number of applications, let's say if you're running a very big application, okay, the application itself, it is taking 4 GB capacity of RAM. The another application is taking the 1 GB capacity of RAM. Okay, what is the leftover? Only 3 GB RAM. Do you think it is feasible to run the other applications? Definitely the system will come down. The system performance will come down. Right? Do you agree? And that too on the same operating system. Definitely we face the system performance reduction level. Right? The system won't perform it as per the requirement. Okay. So what is the concept came? Virtualization concept is came. So what is the virtualization? If you read this, it is so simple. Okay. Don't worry about the things. So virtualization is a process. Right? It is a process. So that allows for more efficient utilization of, see, it is allowing this concept, this process is allowing for more efficient way of utilization of physical computer hardware. Okay. So using the virtualization concept, we can use the resources in a more efficient way. Okay, more efficient way. Matlab, we don't know whether this application is using a 4 GB of RAM every time. Right? We don't know whether we can't predict, right? Whether this application is using 1 GB of RAM every time. Sometimes it is less than 1 GB, sometimes it's more than 1 GB. So in order to use these resources efficiently, what are the resources of a machine? In order to use the resources efficiently, the virtualization concept came into the picture. So it is also acting as a foundation for the cloud computing. Right. So in order to understand what is cloud computing, you know what is cloud computing, but how it is working on the foundation of virtualization. Okay. So how the virtualization concept is working, how the process is working, how it is working, it is using the software. Okay. For what? It is using the software what? To create an abstraction layer over the computer hardware. Okay. How it is creating the abstraction layer? See, let's say this is my hardware. Okay. This is my machine hardware. I told you what is the configuration, like 12 core CPU, 16 GB RAM. Okay. CPU, RAM, and 250 GB hard disk. So upon that, okay, what is the image here? Windows. So upon that, what I'm using, I'm just installing the software called hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor is also a software under virtualization process. Okay, under virtualization process, what I done, I just install the software. Here, what are the software I'm using? Hypervisor. Okay, so by using this virtualization concept, what is doing? It is acting as a layer. Okay, it is acting as a layer between what? Between the hardware. Okay, between the computer hardware. Okay, matlab, now you can understand. So virtualization concept is working at the hardware level. okay, at the hardware level. So that allows, okay, that allows the hardware elements of single computer, okay, whether the CPU or the memory or the storage and any other things, it is divided. Okay, the infrastructure, the hardware configuration is divided into multiple virtual computers. Matlab like this. Whatever the hardware of my machine, okay, using the virtualization concept, here I'm using the software called hypervisor. What I can do, I can create a multiple virtual machines, just like my single machine, okay, single existing machine. From the single existing machine, I can create a number of machines. See, for the already this machine have the OS, we call it as host OS, right? We call it as host OS, host operating system. Upon that, what I done, I just install the software called hypervisor. So using the virtualization concept hypervisor, I can create a number of operating systems so that I can create a number of machines like this. Okay, this is the machine 1, this is the machine 2, this is the machine 3. See, I'm saying it as machine. Matlab, it is a kind of separate machine. Okay, inside my physical machine, I'm creating the virtual machines. Matlab, now you can understand. Machine, matlab, what is the machine contents? What is the machine contents? It contains the hardware, it contains the software, okay, it contains the hardware configuration, and it also contains the operating system also. Upon that, applications are running. So here also, if you see, I'm creating the machines like this. Matlab, here I have assigned the hardware configurations. Okay, I have given the hardware configurations, and also I'm installing the operating system also. Upon that, I'm running the applications. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry. Might it is confusing to you. Just read the document once. Okay, from the single computer. Okay, from the single computer, what I'm doing, I have done virtualization of everything. Okay, virtualization matlab I have done the replication of the processor. Okay, replication of the memory, replication of the storage into multiple virtual computers, which are commonly called virtual machines. So now each virtual machine, see like this. Now each machine, okay, each machine run its own operating system, right? Each machine have its own operating system. Who going to design? Who going to define? You going to define. Okay. Now I want the, let's say this host operating system is Windows. Okay. This host operating system is Windows. Let's say now suddenly I want the, okay, I need one application which is running on the Linux only, which is supporting on the Linux only. Might you notice every time? Sometimes you notice there are some application which is only support the Android. Did you notice? Some of the applications only support the iOS in your mobile. Did you notice that anytime? Guys, did you notice that some of the applications only support the Android and some of the applications only support the iOS? Okay, matlab it won't support the Android operating system in your mobile. So what you will do? Do you purchase any other mobile to get the application access, or else you will go with the virtualization concept? If you go with the virtualization concept, what will happen? You can install the operating system. Okay, in the virtualization box, you can install the Linux operating system. Okay, now it will become the guest operating system, guest OS for the machine. Okay, upon the guest OS, you can run the application. Right? To run the application, I told you to run the application, what is required? It requires the hardware. Right? It requires the hardware configuration. How the hardware configuration is getting? We are going to assign. See, out of 12 GB, okay, out of, let's say it is like 24 GB CPU, okay, 24 core CPU and 64 GB RAM and 500 GB hard disk. So out of that, what I will do, I will assign 4 GB RAM. Okay, I will assign to this particular machine, I will assign 4 GB RAM. Okay. And let's say it is enough for 12 core CPU is enough to run the application. And let's say 30 GB of hard disk is enough based on the application. Right? Is it okay? Now this application will work very efficiently. Do you agree? Because it has its own operating system. Right? It has its own operating system, particularly for the application, and it has its own hardware configuration setup. Definitely it will work very efficiently. Similarly, for different application, to run the different application, out of this, we are assigning some more hardware configuration to this virtual machine. Right? And to run one more application in an efficient way, definitely out of this hardware configuration, we are assigning some more hardware configuration to this as well. And you can run any operating system. You can run any image. Here you are running the Linux. Okay, here you can run the Ubuntu operating system. Right, here you can use the Red Hat. Okay, like this. So this is the concept of virtualization. Okay, because this virtualized machine is behaves like an independent computer. Are you getting my point? For every virtualization environment, okay, the virtualization machine, it is behaving like an independent computer. In the same way, let me take how the cloud computing is working. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the data center. Let's say AWS, because we are focusing on the AWS. So in the AWS, this is one of the data center. Inside the data center, let's say this is one of the machine. Okay, it is one of the big machine in the data center. Okay, we called what are the hardware configuration? Let's say it is, I told you it is a big machine. Matlab, we have the big hardware configuration. Let's say it is a 1000 core CPU. Okay, 500 GB RAM. And 1 terabyte of hard disk. This is the hardware configuration of this machine, right? And what is the, for the machine, what is the next layer comes in the picture? OS. We call it as host OS, right? Because the host machine, it is hosting the configuration so that it going to deliver the service. Host OS. Now, in the same way, virtualization concept, what is another layer? Virtualization. Okay, virtualization. Now, see. So from the one, okay, from this host machine, it install the virtualization. Now it is ready to give these resources to the users through the internet. Now let's say, okay, I am working in one of the MNC company as a cloud administrator, and my company assigned one project and telling that please log into the AWS and create one machine, create one virtual machine, create one virtual environment. Okay, virtual machine. So what I will do, I will log into the AWS. Okay, in my laptop, using the laptop or desktop, whatever may be, I will open the AWS. Okay, I will log in. After login, okay, I will go to the EC2. I will tell you what is EC2. Okay, I will start using these resources. So now let's say to my company, okay, whatever the company I'm working, they give the requirements to me. They asked me, let's say this laptop, whatever the working, this is a Linux machine, okay, Linux operating system. But my company need emergency, my company need Windows and 4 GB RAM. Okay, 4 GB RAM. And let's say 8 core CPU. Okay, and 40 GB hard disk. This is the requirement my company need emergency to do certain task. Whether the company go outside and buy physically of this? No, because why? Because we have the solution, right? Why now the companies are not going to purchase anything. Okay, simply what they're doing, they are approaching the cloud computing service providers. Because for the rental purpose, because only for the temporary purpose, only for the particular task, they want this machine immediately. Instead of purchasing this, okay, instead of investing this for this, what they're doing, they're going to the cloud computing, they're getting the rental and the pay as you go model. Now, what I will do, so now I will go to the AWS and one of the region, I will tell you what is the region. Let's say if I am working from the Hyderabad, I'll go to the AWS and I will tell to the AWS, please, okay, from the Hyderabad region, nearby region, please provide the resources. I need the Windows. Well, I can select. It is a flexibility. So with the virtualization, I told you, we can set up the own environment, right? That is what? Okay, from the single computer. What is the single computer here? This is a single computer. From the single computer, okay, using the virtualization concept, it is sharing the resources. Okay, this host machine sharing is hardware configuration. I told you the concept of virtualization, it is at the hardware level. Sharing of resources at the hardware level. So now I need the Windows. Happily, I can install the Windows. Okay, means I'm telling to the AWS, I need the Windows. Okay, Windows, install the Windows, and I need this configuration. Okay, 4 GB of like a Windows. I selected the Windows. I need the 4 GB of RAM, and I need the 8-core CPU. I need the this much. Okay, whatever things I need, I can select here and I can run the application. Okay, I can run the application. Do you want to see in the practical way, guys? Do you want to see how it is going to run in the practical way? Because theory is enough. I want to show in the practical way also how I am going to choose the Linux machine now. Okay, this will take a couple of minutes to see in the practical way also. So this is my machine. Okay, now this setup is completely, this is called virtual machine 1. Okay, now I am the responsible to this. All right, now who are the responsible for the remaining thing? The AWS. Okay, now let's say there is another person from the meeting. He is working in another company. Now he needs the requirement of virtual machine. He needs the requirement of hardware configuration immediately. So instead of purchasing, what you'll do, you'll just go to the AWS. Okay, he will assign one more slot to you, one more virtual machine to you. You may define the configuration. How we getting the configuration from the existing only? Got it? How the AWS is assigning this 4 GB RAM as per the request from us? 4 GB RAM from the existing 500 GB RAM only. Okay, is it clear? Let's say you need now 16 GB of RAM. How the AWS is providing to you? From the here only, from the existing post hardware configuration only. Okay, let's say this is a person B. Now let's say this is a person C. As per your requirement, it is a hardware level. It is doing virtualization. Okay, it is given to the public. So hardware virtualization works by imitating hardware resources. Got it? By how? By a software layer called hypervisor. Is it clear to everyone? What is a virtualization now? I will show you. Don't worry. I will show one example as well. Okay, here I give one car and school bus example. Okay, see, if you want to, let's say, if you have the kids, okay, if you have the kids, and if you want to drop our students, if you want to drop our kids to the school, okay, so definitely we'll drop the students. We will drop our kids to the school by using our own car. Matlab, we are using our own car for the one kid. Own car for the one kid. We are using a lot of fuel. Unnecessarily, we are wasting a lot of resources. Do you agree? Okay, we are the 30 people here. Okay, 30 cars come on the road, wasting a lot of resources. Okay, investing on the car first thing, capex and opex, right? Wasting a lot of infrastructure, wasting a lot of resources, wasting a lot of money. So if we choose the school bus, I can share the school bus, and you also share the school bus. All the 30 students can share the school bus. Do you agree? The seat is allocated as per the available, right? So who is managing the school bus? The school management. Okay, the school management going to manage the school bus, but what we are doing, we are just using the resources as per the requirement. If you need the AC bus, you just ask to the school bus, provide the AC bus. Okay, luxury seat, they will provide. If you need the normal, they will provide, right? In the same way, let's say school, the AWS, in the school bus, let's say it's a virtualization. We are the users. So is it clear to everyone what is the virtualization and the hypervisor concept? Yes. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Let me give one example. How I see now my laptop. See mine now my laptop is a Windows. Okay, Windows 11, and it is a just like a 8 GB RAM and 250 GB of hard disk SSD. Immediately I need the Linux operating system with a 4 GB capacity, 4 GB. Okay, with the 4 GB RAM. Okay, and I need required things. How I can do? I will use the AWS cloud computing provider. Okay, I'm just logging. I think you can see the screen. Let me share the screen once again. I think you can see the screen. Like, okay, AWS console. Okay, AWS management console. I'm just logging. So this is a root user. I'm just logging with my credentials with the password. Right. So yes, I have given the security credentials to save my account. So in the tomorrow demo, okay, please be attended. Don't miss the tomorrow demo as well. I will show you how to maximum tomorrow, most of the time we're doing the practicals only. Okay, how to maintain this security, okay, multi-factor authentication, and how to secure our account and all. Definitely we'll see that tomorrow in the most part in the practicals only, because theory almost we covered almost all the theories, most of the part of theory. See. So now this is my account, Sai Guda. Okay, this is my account ID. Right. Now I'm in the US is North Virginia. Now I need one machine nearby region. Okay, that is Asia Pacific Mumbai. I chosen this region. I will tell you why this latency. I think you know what is latency. Have you ever heard the term latency? 5G technology. Why the 5G technology much? In order to overcome the latency. Right. Latency matlab the time difference between the request and the response. Right. Okay. So in order to reduce the latency, I will choose the nearby region so that I'm going to get the resources from the nearby region only. So EC2, okay, Elastic Compute Cloud. I will tell you what is EC2 in detail. First, let me see. Okay, launch instance. Okay, so my machine name, I'm giving the machine name. Let's say Linux. Linux is my machine name. Okay, and now the image. What is the OS image I want to select? If you want to choose Windows, you can choose the Windows. Now I need the Linux. I can choose the Linux. Okay, I'm selecting the Linux image, operating system. See, so this is the Amazon machine image. What is the Amazon machine image that I have selected? Okay, Linux, right? So now the instance is type. So now I selected the OS. Now I'm selecting the RAM. 1 GB memory matlab, it is the RAM. It is saying the RAM and one virtual code CPU. Okay, it is a free tier eligible. Okay, I'm going the Amazon Web Service. They're giving the free tier account where you can use the resources freely for a time being. Okay, T2 micro under this class. Okay, for the different purpose, it is a general class. Okay, I'm using the 1 GB of RAM and 1 core CPU. It is enough to my task. Right, I'm selecting this. If you need any other things, if you need a big capacity, you can go. If you need 2 GB RAM and 1 core CPU, you can go. If you need 2 virtual core CPU, you can go with a 4 GB RAM. Okay, as per that, they will charge. Okay, as per that, they will charge. Right, for a timing, I'm going with a free tier account. And these are the credentials. For a timing, I'm going without credentials. Like in order to log in into your machine, you need the password, right? So where you can give the password, you can set up the password. For a timing, I'm not going with any password. If you need any password, if you want to secure your machine, right, virtual machine, you can also have the option to create the password. Okay, set up the password. So this is the network settings. Okay, these are the network settings. I will tell you in the upcoming class. Don't worry. So what is the hard disk? What is the hard disk here? 8 GB. Okay, if you under free tier, I'm getting 8 GB of RAM. See, under free tier eligible, customers can get up to 30 GB of hard disk. Okay, matlab I can use up to 30 GB in a free of cost. But where 8 GB is enough. Now see what I done. I selected the hard disk. Okay, I had assigned the hard disk. I selected the RAM. Okay, and I selected the CPU and I selected my own operating system. How it is done? How it is given by the AWS? Because of virtualization. Okay. Now launch instance. Matlab the AWS is creating one virtual machine to me based on the requirement. Right. Now it is pending. Matlab it is running. Okay, background it is setuping. Why it is taking time? I have told you. Okay, I have told you in the slide. All right. So now what I done, I just done this. Okay. What the AWS is done? This is the part of the AWS. Out of the AWS Mumbai region, in one of the data center from the Mumbai, okay, I have chosen particular resources for the usage. So my instance is running, means it is ready to use. So status 6, it is initializing, it is ready to use. Now I want to connect. See, I want to see the details of my machine. See, these are the details of my machine. Okay, this is the IP address. I will tell you tomorrow. IP address and domain name. Okay, we are running out of time. These are the IP address. Now I want to connect. Okay, just connect. So without key pair. Okay, if you are the security credentials, you can do the security credentials. Okay, but without without any security credentials, I can connect. Yes, establishing connection to my machine. Which machine? Linux operating system. See, can you see this? Okay, now see, just okay, don't worry. Yum update. I'm just performing certain tasks. Okay, yum update manager. I'm just updating the system. Okay, and yum install HTTPD server. I told you what is the purpose of the server. In this machine, I'm installing the server. HTTPD -1. Don't worry about this. Okay, in the upcoming classes, if you register in these classes, you're going to learn everything. Okay, now system CTL, status of this server. It is inactive. My server, I have installed the server, but it's inactive. I want to start the server. What is the purpose of the server? You know. Start HTTP. Okay, once again check the status. Yes, so it is active. Okay, my server is active and running, right? Active and running. Fine. Now what I'll do, I'll just cd var www.html cd var. Okay, and vim index.html. Okay, don't worry, guys, don't worry. Okay, I'm just writing the blog. Okay, if you know the HTML, it's well and good. Okay, if anyone know the HTML, it's well and good how to write the code and all. Okay, if you don't know the HTML also, don't worry, right? So I'm just trying to write one application here. Okay, one HTML comments. I just want to write one HTML. Yes. Let's say hi. Welcome to Logic Labs Technology. Okay, welcome to Logic Labs Technology. Okay, I'm writing one blog in the server. Okay, and I want to save. Escape, right and quit. Okay, now guys, so this is the public API where you can access my application. Okay, where you can access if you are interested what I written. If you want to follow my blog, okay, you can access this. Show you. See. Now, hi, welcome to Logic Lab Technology. I'm just pasting in the chat box. Even you can see my blog. Okay, you can see my website blog. Hi, welcome to Logic Labs Technology. How I created? How I created? Just using the AWS resources. Right? Okay. Is it clear to everyone? So just try, everyone just try using this access to this public IP. Can you able to see?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. If I want to change, see, this is the beauty here, right? See, whether I purchase any machine to write the blog, nowhere, right? In order to upgrade my machines. So what is the machine configuration? You know the machine configuration now, right? You know the machine configuration. In order to upgrade the machine configuration, instantly I can do the machine configuration upgradation. Okay, instantly I can change from T2 micro to, okay, large. I can enlarge. How? I can just stop. Okay, I can just shut down from T2 micro. You know what is T2 micro? 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM. Okay, let's say it is not enough. Many people are accessing this website, my blog, but some people are facing server down. So what I'll do instantly, immediately what I'll do, I'll just stop the machine. I'll go to the actions. Okay, and here instant settings. I'll go to the instant text settings. Let it stop. Okay, once if it's stopped, then I can change the install. Yes, I can change the instant settings also. Okay, manage instant set. Let it stop, right? Change instance type, right? From T2 micro, I'll go to large, right? C4 large. It's a very big processor. Okay, I can choose anything. Right? I can increase the, what I mean to say, I can increase the capacity of my CPU and the RAM. Do you got my point? Okay, I'm applying C4 large. See, apply. Now what I'll do, again I will start. See, now it is C4 large. You want to see what is C4 large? C4 large, what is the capacity of C4 large? See, if you see the C4 large here, okay, just see C4 large, how much capacity you are getting. C4, see, C4 large, see almost 4 core CPU, 7 GB of RAM. Got it? How I increase my resources instantly? That is the beauty of the cloud computing AWS, right? Is it clear, guys? So you should know, okay? You should know before. Now, if I want to shut down, I can shut down. If I want to remove completely, I can remove. Okay. Now, let's say if I stop this, can you able to access? See, I want to access. You people can able to access my blog website? No. Because the machine, the server is stopped. The server is stopped functioning. If you want to remove completely, you can terminate. Okay, now it is stopped. If you want to remove completely from usage, you can terminate also. Okay, yes. Okay, we'll stop recording for timing. Yeah, let it be. So guys, please give your feedback. How is the session? Is it informative? Guys, what about your experience? And thanks for your patience. So I will definitely, I will just posting one poll. Yes. Yeah, Daniel. Please kindly give your feedback in the poll. Okay. Yes, Daniel. Daniel, you want to say something?
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, so for the classes, for the sessions, you said it's going to be only on the weekends, right? So we do it on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Or just the Saturdays?
Yes. It's like Saturdays 2 hours and Sunday 2 hours. So if you want to enroll this batch as a regular pace, the same pace, okay. Here again, I'm displaying the content. Like this is the where you can scan for the details. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, please take screenshot or you can scan the content, what we're going to deal in the upcoming classes. So it's like a weekend batch, Saturday and Sundays. Okay, for 2 hours, Saturday 2 hours and Sunday 2 hours. For the course content, you can scan here and you want to register in this program, you can do here.
Okay.
And if you have any queries, you may approach the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So.
Thank you, Dan. Yes. I hope, thank you for the patience, guys.
This recording will be available, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think management going to give the recording. Yes,
Sure.
they're going to provide the recordings to you as well.
Even on the daily basis, right, for all this.
Yes, exactly. No, it is a lifetime. You're going to get the recording. Yeah, you can have the recordings very well. Okay. So this is just beginning. Okay, and just beginning. Don't worry, because upcoming we have to swim in the AWS. If you're good in the AWS, you can do best in the DevOps. Okay, in the same way, the DevOps also we're going to learn from the scratch. Don't worry. Okay. Yes. So I think it's time to wrap up. So yeah, Pratibha. Yes, Pratibha. Yeah, Pratibha.
Yeah, hi, Sai. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I want to ask one question. What is the difference between AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps? Because actually, I'm working in Azure now. Can I go with AWS DevOps?
So you want to go with the